You are now watching WhoDooTV.
And on the movie, we talked about casting a little bit. If you can't give names, are you looking for established actors, up and coming?
We're looking at both. In all honesty, I've been meeting and talking to both and again, it depends on who the characters are in the script too, because you can imagine there's you can put them in a pecking order, right? So there's a couple. I'd say there's about 3 what I would call big roles that are meaningful roles, and there's about 2 or 3 that I think are decent, and then after that, then you don't have to be quite as particular with it. But no, casting is a weird thing because you have to find people that are interested after they read it, that they're interested in it, they have the schedule to do it, and they basically sort of meet the criteria of the skill sets that you need of that character. So there's a lot that goes into it that I'm finding out. That there's some people there on some of the lists that I thought, oh my God, they're going to be awesome, and then I was like, after looking at more of their work on their resume, and then there's other people that I was not that familiar with, but the more I look at them, they're very interesting. And then there's again, it might just be me. There's a big group of actors that you just know instantly when you see them. But they're just not household names. Which the household names are the ones that are what we would call A-listers, right? So, but there is a ton of, for lack of a better term, the B bucket that has got these wonderful, wonderful, talented people that may have just never been given the opportunity to be the star in a movie that has the chance to open up to #1, right? I'm cocky enough, and I'll keep. I say we open up #1. I say we open. I'll bet my house we open up to #1. And the reason I can say that is not because I think that I'm going to be a great director and I've got a great story. Put that to the side. I think it's just math. I think it's just pure math. And the math goes this simple. 1997, when the last movie came out, it opened up to $20 million. That was when tickets were $5 a pop. Tickets are now about $12 a pop on average. So I keep saying to Hollywood, if I get the same number of people, not one more, not one less, same number of people, it's a $44 million opening. So if we come out in a time where it's away from Academy Awards and away from the summer blockbusters, then in those little pockets, which are like Halloween and like right now, that January to March window, of course, 44 will be #1. And even if you cut that number in half, I don't know how we cut it in half, but let's just play the game. Even if you cut it in half, it's still a $24 million opening. That's still going to be a #1 movie because Jumanji was #1 two and a half weeks ago or whatever. Forget what happened with Black Panther a couple weeks ago. Jumanji was 11 million. It was #1. So if you go into the right pockets, 20 million should get you at #1, right? I think we can do a lot better than that. I think because remember, what's happened since 1997? Superhero movies, right? Like that's not an insignificant thing. Right? Spawn came out and superhero movies weren't a thing, right? Now, and we didn't necessarily deliver what we needed to. Now there's been 10, 12 years of these movies that there's just a public that goes to these things. Not that I keep saying mine's not going to be a superhero movie, but what's going to happen, it's going to get bandied around that this is a character that comes from comic books. You say comic books, they're going to go comics equals superhero. There's going to be this natural sort of, so you've got people already go to it. You've got the people then that like Spawn or either saw the Spawn movie before, saw the HBO animation before, saw some of the toys, anything Spawn in the last 25 years, there's a potential to get them. Then you've got people go to creepy movies. Then you got people, with what happened with Black Panther with minority superheroes, and Spawn is the first minority superhero that came to film. It was a year ahead of Blade. So you get that. Then you have things like, I'm hoping that even movies like New Mutants do well. Because if you see that trailer, it looks like a dark R-rated movie. So as more R-rated movies start to work, then that's going to happen because mine's going to be R. And then I'm hoping that Venom rocks. And then I'll be able to ride on those coattails all day long. As I'm doing hey, talk to us about Venom, I can go, oh, by the way, here's this trailer for the new movie. Boom, and I'll be able to go. So there's a lot of potential stuff that's there that it's hard for me to imagine that we're not going to get our opening at least. And at that point, if the movie's terrible, then that's on me.
Hey, if you like this video, be sure to hit the like button below.
There's also that subscribe button down there too. Make sure you punch that. We'd appreciate it. Follow us at Twitter at WhoDooTV, also on Facebook.
Yeah, and we'd like to thank our friends over at OutrightGeekery.com. Be sure to check them out. They got all sorts of nerdy stuff on there.
Links down in the description. Thank you for watching WhoDooTV. We appreciate you guys.